pilot who trained you. He thinks he is a man. Have you killed with your hands? Whose hands are these? The pilot of the drum. Have you killed with your hands? Whose hands are these? The pilot of the drum. Drone pilot, where are you? I'm sure you are at home. Drone pilot who trained you, I'm sure he is at home. Have you seen on your screen whose lives are these? The pilot of the drum. Have you seen on your screen whose lives are these? The pilot of the drum. Remote survey, how far away? Who are your enemies? Who are your fellow men? Remote survey, how far away? Who are your enemies? Who are your fellow men? Have you prayed to your God? Whose God are you? The pilot of the drum. Have you prayed to your God? Whose God are you? The pilot of the drum. On your way home, did you buy beer for the game tonight? On your way home, did you buy beers for the game tonight?